Now we are going to discuss about pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia is a condition in which there is macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. This macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, it is caused due to deficiency of B12, and this deficiency of B12, it is caused due to deficiency of intrinsic factor, and this intrinsic factor deficiency, it is caused due to destruction of gastric fundus mucosa by autoimmune process. Again, pernicious anemia is a special type of anemia in which there is macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. This macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, it is caused due to deficiency of B12. This deficiency of B12, it is caused due to deficiency of intrinsic factor. This intrinsic factor, it is not present, and this intrinsic factor deficiency, it is caused due to destruction of this parietal cells or this fundus gastric fundic mucosa due to autoimmune process. Now, in pernicious anemia, what happens that in pernicious anemia, what is happening that initially there are T cells present in our body. There are T cells. These T cells, due to some abnormality or some autoimmune disease, these T cells, they attack the parietal cells. These parietal cells, they are initially attacked by these T cells due to some autoimmune disorder. As these parietal cells, they are destroyed by the T cells, only some of the T cells only some of the parietal cells, they are destroyed by these T cells. As these parietal cells, I take out the parietal cell here. Suppose this is a parietal cell, these are the canaliculi. The T cell, it destroys the parietal cell. As there is destruction of these parietal cells, the proteins which are stored inside the parietal cells, they are now released out. The proteins which are stored in the parietal cells, as they are out now in the body, they are exposed to our immune system. The proteins which are released from parietal cells, they are exposed to the immune system, and our immune system, it develops antibodies against those proteins. There is development of, first the T cell, it attacked the parietal cells, and now there is development of antibodies. Antibodies, when the proteins, after the destruction of parietal cells, when the proteins are exposed to the immune system, our immune system, it develops antibodies. Three types of antibodies, they are developed in pernicious anemia. Sorry, two main types of antibodies, they are developed. Right here, antibody. This antibody, they are developed in pernicious anemia. They are of two types. First antibody, it is anti-parietal cell antibody. right here, parietal cell antibody. And another type of antibody, it is antibody for intrinsic factor. Antibody in our body, it is produced which is directed against this intrinsic factor. And these antibodies which are directed against the intrinsic factor, they are of two types. Type 1 and type 2. Now, one by one I will explain you about this antibodies and what do they do. This first antibody, which is, we call it as parietal cell antibody, this antibody, it binds here. On this parietal cell, there are two subunits. There is alpha unit and here is beta unit. Both these subunits, they produce protons. They produce protons, and this parietal cell antibody which is produced, it binds here. As the antibody, it binds here, the protons, they are not secreted. The protons are not produced due to binding of this antiparietal antibody or parietal cell antibody. As the protons are not produced, this H plus it is not produced, the HCl, it will not be formed. This HCl, it will not be formed. As HCl is not formed, the pepsinogen which was secreted from the chief cells, it will not be converted into pepsin. And if pepsin is not formed, pepsin, it will not digest the animal proteins which are surrounding the B12, and further the B12, it will not bind the R binders, and there will be no absorption of this B12. Again, three types of antibodies they are developed in our body. Sorry, two types, mainly two types. First is the parietal cell antibody, another is the intrinsic factor antibody. Intrinsic factor antibody, they are of two types. One is type 1 and other is the type 2 antibody. This parietal cell antibody, it goes here and binds to the alpha and beta subunits which are producing the protons. This parietal cell antibody, it goes here and binds here. After binding here, protons are not secreted. As protons are not secreted, this HCl, it will not be produced. As HCl is not produced, pepsinogen, it will not get converted to pepsin. If pepsin is not formed, it will not digest the animal proteins which are surrounding the B12, and B12, it will not be available for further absorption. This is what the parietal cell antibody does. Now, intrinsic factor antibodies, they are of two types. First antibody, it is type 1. Type 1 antibody, what it is doing, that suppose this is a parietal cell antibody, sorry, type 1 antibody directed against the intrinsic factor. This type 1 antibody which is produced by the body, it goes here to the intrinsic factor and it binds here. The antibody, it binds here, and the B12, it is not allowed to bind with the intrinsic factor. As this B12, it is not allowed to bind with the intrinsic factor, it is not carried further for its absorption, and hence the person, he may develop a B12 deficiency which is due to autoimmune process we call it as pernicious anemia. This type 1 antibody, it is binding to the intrinsic factor and it is not allowing the B12 to bind to the intrinsic factor, and B12, it will not be transported further. Now, type 3 antibody, what it is doing, that when the intrinsic factor, it reaches here, along with the B12, here is B12 inside the intrinsic factor. This B12, it has to bind here at the ileal receptor. But this type 2 antibody which is directed against the intrinsic factor, it comes here at this place. Suppose this is the antibody. It comes at here in this place and it fits here. Now the B12 and intrinsic factor complex, due to accumulation of this antibody here, it does not allow to bind the B12 and intrinsic factor complex to the ileal receptors. Hence the B12 it is not absorbed, and the person he may develop a B12 deficiency. These were the three type of antibodies which are produced in pernicious anemia. Now, the patients of pernicious anemia, in his family members, there may be other presence of any other autoimmune disorders also. Suppose there is a patient of pernicious anemia and he is having a brother. In his brother, there may be antibodies presented which are directed against the adrenal cortex. I will tell you by writing. Here is the patient. He is suffering from pernicious anemia, and this patient, he is having a brother. This brother, he has antibodies which is present, which are directed against the adrenal cortex. What I want to say here, that if a person, he is suffering from pernicious anemia, in his family members there may be other autoimmune disorders also which may be present. Other autoimmune disorders, they may be present in the family members of this patient who is suffering from pernicious anemia. For example, the brother, he has antibodies directed against adrenal cortex which lead to autoimmune Addison's disease, which may lead to autoimmune Addison's disease. If in his sister the antibodies, if here is his sister and she has antibodies directed against melanocytes, which may lead to vitiligo. And there may be another cases also where in the family members of the patient who is suffering from pernicious anemia, there may be presence of autoimmune antibodies which are attacking those cells of their own body only. That's all. Thank you.